The discovery. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, where stars twinkled like distant beacons of hope, humanity had long since spread its wings. Centuries of interstellar exploration had yielded countless wonders, yet the thirst for discovery remained unquenched. It was in this era of endless curiosity that the signal was first detected. The Deep Space Monitoring Station Epsilon 9, orbiting a lonely gas giant in the outer reaches of charted space, picked up the faint whisper. At first, the technicians dismissed it as background noise, a cosmic hiccup in the grand symphony of the universe. But as hours turned to days, the signal persisted, growing stronger and more distinct. Dr. Aria Chen, the station's lead astrophysicist, pored over the data with growing excitement. The signal's pattern was unlike anything encountered before, a rhythmic pulse that seemed to defy natural explanation. As news of the discovery spread, the scientific community buzzed with speculation. Was this the long-awaited proof of intelligent extraterrestrial life? The Galactic Council, humanity's governing body among the stars, convened an emergency session. After heated debates and careful consideration, a decision was reached. An expedition would be launched to investigate the source of the mysterious signal. The Starship Horizon, a marvel of human engineering, was chosen for the mission. Captain Zoran Kosi, a veteran of numerous deep space voyages, was selected to lead the diverse crew. Alongside her stood Dr. Chen, whose expertise had been crucial in decoding the signal's origin. As the Horizon prepared for departure, excitement and trepidation rippled through the crew. They were embarking on a journey that would take them beyond the edges of known space, into a region where the laws of physics themselves seemed to bend and twist. The launch was a spectacle watched by billions across human-settled worlds. The Horizon's antimatter engines flared to life, propelling the ship into the inky blackness of space. As they accelerated to faster-than-light speeds, the familiar constellations blurred and shifted, replaced by the alien patterns of unexplored star systems. Weeks turned to months as the Horizon ventured deeper into uncharted territory. The crew's initial excitement gave way to a tense anticipation. Every sensor sweep, every astronomical reading brought them closer to the signal's source. It was during the third month of their journey that they finally saw it, a solitary planet orbiting a red dwarf star. From a distance, it appeared unremarkable, a blue-green marble suspended in the void. But as they drew closer, the planet's unique nature began to reveal itself. The atmosphere was thick and turbulent, swirling with storms that dwarfed anything seen on Earth. Massive continents shifted and changed shape before their eyes, as if the planet's very surface was alive. And through it all, the signal pulsed stronger than ever, emanating from somewhere beneath the chaotic surface. Captain Cozy ordered the Horizon into a stable orbit, her voice steady despite the tension that gripped the bridge. "Prepare the landing party," she commanded. "We're going down there." The descent through the planet's atmosphere was harrowing. The shuttle bucked and shuddered, battered by winds that howled with an almost sentient fury. Dr. Chen clutched her seat, knuckles white, as she watched the storm clouds part to reveal the landscape below. What greeted them defied explanation. Forests of crystalline structures stretched as far as the eye could see, pulsing with an inner light that matched the rhythm of the mysterious signal. Rivers of what appeared to be liquid metal flowed between the crystal formations, their surfaces reflecting the alien sky in a dazzling display. As the shuttle touched down in a clearing, the crew felt a collective shiver of anticipation. They were about to step onto a world unlike any they had encountered before, a world that seemed to blur the line between the organic and the inorganic. Captain Cozy was the first to step out, her boots sinking slightly into the spongy ground. The air, surprisingly breathable, carried a faint metallic tang. She turned to her crew, her eyes wide with wonder. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, "welcome to our new frontier." Dr. Chen followed, her scientific instruments already wiring to life. The readings they provided only deepened the mystery. The entire planet seemed to be pulsing with energy, as if it were one giant, living organism. As the landing party spread out to explore, they noticed movement among the crystal formations. At first, they thought it was a trick of the light, but soon it became undeniable. The crystals were moving, rearranging themselves in patterns that seemed to respond to the presence of the humans. With their minds and bodies fully linked to the planet, the humans began to understand the true nature of the cosmic storm. It wasn't just a natural phenomenon, it was a test, a cosmic filter that separated worlds capable of ascending to a higher plane of existence from those that would be torn apart and reforged. Armed with this knowledge, they acted as one. Human creativity and adaptability merged with the ancient power and wisdom of the synergy. They reached out into the storm itself, not fighting against it, but embracing it, channeling its energy into the planet's core. The world shuddered and groaned. For a moment that stretched into eternity, it seemed as though everything would be torn apart. But then, slowly at first and then with gathering speed, the planet began to change. The crystal forests grew and shifted, forming new patterns that sang in harmony with the cosmic energies. The liquid metal rivers flowed with renewed purpose, carrying life and information to every corner of the world. As the storm reached its peak, the planet itself began to ascend. It rose through layers of space-time, transforming into something that defied easy categorization, not quite matter, not quite energy, but a perfect synthesis of both. When the cosmic storm finally passed, the star system emerged forever changed. At its heart floated a world unlike any other, a shimmering beacon of life and consciousness that pulsed with the combined essence of humanity and the synergy. And what of the humans who had embarked on this incredible journey? In a sense, they were gone, their individual selves dissolved into the greater whole of the ascended planet. But in another sense, they were more alive than ever before. Their consciousness expanded to encompass an entire world, their understanding reaching out to touch the very fabric of the universe. As news of the transformation spread across the galaxy, it marked the dawn of a new era. The boundary between organic and inorganic, between individual and collective, had been forever blurred. Humanity's destiny among the stars would never be the same. And on the surface of that shining world, in a form that was both familiar and utterly alien, Captain Kosi's consciousness stirred. She looked out upon the cosmos with new eyes, filled with the wonder of infinite possibilities. Well, she thought, her mind resonating with the echoes of her crew and the entire living planet, I guess this is just the beginning. The signal that had first drawn them to this world now broadcast across the universe, a beacon calling out to all sentient life. It carried a message of hope, of transformation, and of a future where the very definition of life and consciousness could be rewritten. As other explorers and seekers began their journeys toward this new wonder, the ascended world pulsed with anticipation. The greatest adventure, it seemed, was just beginning. Inspired by this, Dr. Chen and the engineering team set to work. They cannibalized parts of their shuttle, combining them with samples of the living metal to create crude but effective exosuits. These suits allowed the humans to interface directly with the planet's energy fields, protecting them from the harsh effects while simultaneously enhancing their ability to communicate with the synergy. As the humans adapted, so too did the planet seem to adapt to them. The crystal formations near their base began to reshape themselves, creating structures that were more accommodating to human physiology. It was as if the entire world was learning, evolving in response to its new inhabitants. The synergy, for its part, seemed endlessly fascinated by the humans. Through a combination of mental impressions and manipulations of the environment, it began to share the history of the planet. The crew learned of ancient civilizations that had visited eons ago, of cosmic cataclysms that had reshaped the world, and of the slow, patient evolution of the planet's collective consciousness. But it wasn't all peaceful discovery. As the weeks wore on, the team began to notice disturbing changes in the planet's behavior. The storms that perpetually raged in the upper atmosphere grew more violent. The liquid metal rivers flowed faster, their patterns becoming erratic. It was Durante, the team's astrophysicist, who first realized the gravity of the situation. It's not just this planet, he explained, his face pale as he showed the others his calculations. The entire star system is entering a region of space with intense radiation and gravitational distortions. We're heading into a cosmic storm, unlike anything we've ever encountered. The implications were staggering. Such a storm could potentially tear the planet apart, destroying the synergy and any hope of learning from this incredible world. The humans found themselves faced with an impossible choice: flee and save themselves, or stay and try to help a planet that had become more than just a research subject. Captain Cozy called for a vote, but she already knew what the outcome would be. The determined looks on her crew's faces said it all. They had come too far, learned too much, to abandon this world now. As if sensing their resolve, the synergy reached out once more. This time, its message carried a tone of urgency, even fear. The cosmic storm was not unknown to it. Such events had nearly destroyed the planet in the distant past. But now, with the humans' knowledge and the synergy's power, perhaps there was hope. And so began a race against time. Human ingenuity and alien technology melded as the team worked tirelessly to prepare for the coming storm. They delved deep into the planet's core, tapping into ancient energy sources that had lain dormant for millions of years. They constructed massive arrays of crystal spires designed to channel and disperse the cosmic energies that threatened to tear the world apart. All the while, the bond between the humans and the synergy grew stronger. Through their exosuits, the crew members found themselves increasingly attuned to the planet's rhythms. They began to sense the ebb and flow of its energies, to feel the pulse of its liquid metal veins as if they were extensions of their own bodies. As the edge of the cosmic storm approached, casting the sky in a kaleidoscope of eldritch colors, Captain Cozy stood atop the highest crystal spire. She looked out over the alien landscape that had become a second home, at the faces of her crew who had become more than just colleagues in this shared struggle. "Whatever happens," she said, her voice carried to every corner of the planet by the synergy itself, "we face it together. For science, for discovery, and for the future of two species bound by fate and curiosity." The first waves of the cosmic storm crashed against the planet's atmosphere, lighting up the sky with auroras of impossible beauty and terrible power. Crystal spires hummed with energy, liquid metal surged through planetary veins, and at the heart of it all, a group of humans stood united with an alien consciousness, ready to fight for survival and understanding in the face of cosmic fury. As alarms blared and energy readings spiked off the charts, Dr. Chen looked to the captain, a mix of fear and exhilaration in her eyes. "Well," she said with a nervous laugh, "I guess this is where we find out if we've learned enough." Captain Cozy nodded, her jaw set with determination. "Indeed, Doctor. Let's show the universe what happens when humanity and the synergy work as one." And with that, they plunged into the heart of the storm, their fates now inexorably linked with that of the living planet they had come to call friend. The triumph. The cosmic storm raged with unimaginable fury, battering the planet with waves of energy that threatened to tear it apart. The sky burned with colors never before seen by human eyes, a maelstrom of cosmic forces that defied comprehension. Yet amidst the chaos, a remarkable collaboration was unfolding. Captain Cozy stood at the heart of the control center, a structure of crystal and metal that pulsed with the combined power of human technology and the planet's living energy. Her eyes darted between holographic displays and the storm-racked sky visible through the translucent walls. "Status report," she called out, her voice steady despite the tremors shaking the ground beneath them. Dr. Chen's fingers flew over an interface that was as much thought as it was touch. "The outer shields are holding, but barely. We're redirecting power from the southern hemisphere to compensate." As she spoke, a surge of energy flowed through the liquid metal conduits, guided by the collective will of the humans and the synergy. Zara, her exosuit glowing with an inner light, called out from her station. "The crystal spires in Sector 7 are starting to crack. We need to reinforce them." Without hesitation, Durant leaped into action. "I'm on it." He sprinted towards the exit, his exosuit allowing him to move with inhuman speed and agility. As he reached the massive crystal formations, he placed his hands on their smooth surface. Closing his eyes, he focused his mind, channeling the knowledge shared by the synergy. The crystals responded, reshaping and reinforcing themselves under his guidance. Back in the control center, the synergy's presence filled their minds, a chorus of thoughts and emotions that conveyed both fear and determination. "We must hold," it seemed to say. "The fate of countless cycles hangs in the balance." As the storm intensified, the true nature of the challenge became clear. This was more than just a test of technology or even willpower. It was a crucible in which two vastly different forms of life were being forged into something entirely new. Hours blurred into days as the humans and the synergy fought against the cosmic onslaught. The exosuits became more than just protective gear. They evolved into a true interface between human and planet. The crew found themselves able to sense the energy flows across the entire world, to direct the planet's defenses with mere thoughts. But even as they grew stronger together, the storm continued to escalate. Cracks began to appear in the planet's crust, rivers of liquid metal boiled and churned, and the crystal forests trembled under the strain. It was in this darkest hour that Captain Cozy made a fateful decision. "We need to go deeper," she announced, her eyes shining with a mixture of fear and inspiration. "The planet's core, that's where the real power lies." The idea was met with stunned silence. Accessing the core meant diving into the very heart of the living planet, a journey that no being had ever attempted. The risks were unimaginable, but so too were the potential rewards. Dr. Chen was the first to speak up. "Captain, if we do this, there may be no coming back. We don't know what that level of integration with the synergy will do to us." Nkosi nodded sullenly. "I know. But I also know that if we don't try, there won't be anything left to come back to." She looked around at her crew, seeing the same resolve reflected in their eyes. "This is what we came here for, to explore, to discover, to push beyond the boundaries of what we thought possible. Who's with me?" The response was unanimous. As one, the humans reached out to the synergy, their minds joining in a singular purpose. The ground beneath them shifted, opening a path that led down into the pulsing heart of the world. The descent was a journey beyond imagination. They passed through layers of reality, witnessing the birth and death of civilizations in the span of heartbeats. The very concept of individuality began to blur as they merged more deeply with the planet's consciousness. At the core, they found something beyond their wildest dreams, a nexus of pure energy, the accumulated knowledge and experience of billions of years. It was here, in this crucible of creation, that the final battle would be fought. Suddenly, a larger formation began to take shape before them. It grew and shifted until it resembled a rough approximation of a human figure. The crew froze, weapons half raised, as the crystal being regarded them with what could only be described as curiosity. Dr. Chen stepped forward, her heart racing. This was it, first contact with an alien intelligence. She raised her hand in a gesture of peace, and to her amazement, the crystal being mimicked her movement. A low hum filled the air, and the ground beneath their feet vibrated in response. The crystal being began to glow brighter, and suddenly, the humans felt a presence in their minds. Not words, exactly, but concepts and emotions that flooded their consciousness. "Welcome," the presence seemed to say. "We have been waiting for you." As the sun of this alien world began to set, casting the crystal forests in a breathtaking array of colors, the human explorers knew that they stood on the threshold of a new chapter in their species' history. The mysteries of this planet and its crystalline inhabitants were just beginning to unfold, promising discoveries beyond their wildest imaginations. Captain Cozy gazed at the horizon, where more crystal beings were beginning to gather. She turned to her crew, a smile of determination on her face. "Well," she said, "I think it's time we introduced ourselves properly. Let's make history." And with that, humanity took its first steps into a future filled with unimaginable wonders and challenges. guided by their unquenchable curiosity and the spirit of exploration that had brought them to the stars. The adaptation. As the first rays of the alien sun pierced the crystalline canopy, the human expedition found themselves facing challenges they could never have anticipated. The very air they breathed seemed alive with energy, tingling in their lungs and making their skin prickle with an otherworldly sensation. It quickly became apparent that their standard equipment was woefully inadequate for this strange new environment. Dr. Chen's excited voice crackled over the comm system. "Captain, you need to see this." She stood at the edge of what appeared to be a liquid metal river, her scanner humming furiously. "These readings are off the charts. The metal isn't just flowing, it's carrying information. It's like a living network spanning the entire planet." Captain Cozy approached, her brow furrowed with a mixture of awe and concern. Any idea what kind of information? Before Chen could answer, a ripple passed through the liquid metal. Suddenly, it surged upward, forming a shimmering pillar that twisted and writhed until it took on a vaguely humanoid shape. The crystal beings that had been observing from a distance drew closer, their forms pulsing in sync with the metal entity. A voice, if it could be called that, resonated in the minds of the human crew. It was a symphony of thoughts and emotions, alien yet strangely familiar. "We are the synergy," it seemed to say. "You are the first to reach us in eons." The revelation hit the crew like a shockwave. They weren't just dealing with a new species, they were communicating with the collective consciousness of an entire living planet. As the days passed, the humans struggled to adapt to their new reality. Their bodies evolved for the comforts of Earth and terraformed worlds, rebelled against the intense energies permeating every aspect of this alien environment. Fatigue set in quickly, and strange rashes began to appear on their skin. It was Zara, a young xenobiologist, who made the breakthrough. "Look at the native life forms," she pointed out during a team meeting. "They're not just surviving here, they're thriving. We need to learn from them." Under Zara's guidance, the team began to study the crystal beings and the other bizarre life forms that called this world home. They discovered that the creatures had developed a symbiotic relationship with the planet itself, drawing energy directly from the pulsing networks of liquid metal and crystal.